Hi there, Rutva. My name is Ellen, and I will be doing these essay corrections with you. I'm very happy to see that you have begun the course and that you're writing essays. Good work. Let's take a look now at what you wrote. The first one is about schools being entertaining. So here's what you said about that. Fun while you learn should be the motto of every school. Fun while you learn should be the motto every school should follow. Few masses advocate that schools should adapt entertaining techniques apart from studies, while others believe that education is the only goal for them towards pupils. Although engaging oneself in teaching is appreciable and enhances their theoretical knowledge, but co-curricular activities, competitions, and other sports activities is also vital for their mental and physical development. Hence, I believe that apart from studies, schools should also have amusing activities for children's overall entertainment. Okay. All right. The good news is that the structure of this is really nicely done. You've included all the elements that you need to include. One of those being your position. You made that very clear, and that's really important if you're aiming for a band 7 and above in task achievement. So that was good. However, there were a couple of things that I wanted to change, primarily in terms of grammar, maybe some lexis. There were some mistakes throughout. Not so much that it created incoherence. Now, when incoherence is created, then we have a problem. But it was just little mistakes throughout the paragraph that detracts from the accuracy. And remember that your introduction is the first thing that the examiner is going to read. It's going to make a first impression, essentially, and so you want that to be a very good first impression. So let's look at the paragraph again, seeing what you wrote and where the mistakes were, and we'll try to correct them. Fun while you learn should be the model every school should follow. All right, it's okay. I don't mind it. I just thought that you could have gotten rid of one of those shoulds. I thought it was a little superfluous. So you could have just said, fun while you learn should be the motto every school follows. I think that sounds a little better. This was wrong here, few masses, because few means almost none. And that doesn't really collocate with masses. It just sounds a little strange. So you could have just used the word people. You don't have to, recreate every single word in a different way from the prompt. You could have just said people, and that would have been okay. So few people advocate, and I don't even think you mean few, almost none. I think you mean a few. So you know what you also could have done here, and this would have been nice. You could have said there are those. That's actually one of my favorite expressions. So there are those who advocate that schools should adopt, with an O, entertaining techniques apart from studies, while others believe that education is the only goal for that starts sounding a little strange. The only goal for them towards pupils. No, just the only goal, and that's it. Okay, I would have stopped the sentence there because then it just becomes awkward. Now, although is a word that needs to, it doesn't get us a comma directly after it. It has to be followed by a clause. And by a clause, we mean at least a subject and at least a verb. So it should sound like this. Although engaging oneself in teaching is appreciable and enhances their theoretical knowledge, comma, so no comma here, and you can't use but with although. You have to just decide one or the other because they both do the same thing, so you can't use both. Now, I also found some mistakes here. It is appreciable. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. And enhances whose theoretical knowledge? The teacher's theoretical knowledge. The children's. It's not clear who this there is referring to. And then theoretical is with an E. All right, so co-curricular activities, competitions, and other sports activities are, not is, are, because it's multiple things here, also vital for their, again, I don't know who there is. Pupils? Perhaps, but that word is so far away from this there that there's no way the reader can be expected to understand that that's who this there is referring to. So it's also vital for children's mental and physical development. Hence, I believe that apart from studies, schools should also have amusing activities for children's overall development. All right, and then we've corrected the paragraph and we're good to go. So let's move on. It is undeniably true that schools are the temple of knowledge. Education is cited to make a person wise. However, some parents, lowercase s, overemphasize, that should have been with a hyphen here, their child for studies. That's awkward. They're overemphasize their child for studies. I think what you mean here is some parents place an exaggerated emphasis on their child's studies, which adversely affects their mental health. Again, here, who does this there refer to? The parent or the child? So make sure it's clear. In the race to achieve high, what does that mean, high percentage? High percentages, what, in school? Again, make sure it's clearer. Students persistently, spelled wrong here, study for hours and isolate them from society. Research on we don't use A in front of research. So research on child development in Oxford University, capital U, proved that overconcentration on academics results, that needs an S here, because this is your noun, overconcentration, results in their mental pressure and other physical disorders. Okay, now this, let's see. It's fine. Obviously, it had a lot of grammatical errors throughout it. Again, nothing that created incoherence, but certainly quite a bit that just kind of acted like a stumbling block. And so that needed a little work. Let's see. I feel like you're talking a lot about the parents and not really about the schools. This is really about schools and how schools what schools focus on. It seemed to me that you were talking a lot about the parents. Students are studying for hours. So I don't really feel like this was appropriately developed. Now, if you wanted to talk about schools being these temples of education and these temples of knowledge, then I think that was a great thing to do, to talk about it. But make sure that you actually talk about it. You could talk about why schools choose this focus, because they see that competition to get into universities becomes more and more cutthroat every single year, that the demands of society to have a highly educated have highly educated citizens and youth is enormous, and so schools feel this pressure and they have to deliver, leaving them very little time for entertainment. So this is how you could have dealt with this paragraph. I feel like the way you developed it was a little off topic, like you kind of went off in a different direction, okay? So make sure you stay on the direction that you need to be in. And here it's talking about schools. All right, now we don't start a paragraph with contradictory. This is incorrect. What you could have said here is in contrast. Okay, that would have been really nice. So in contrast, non-educational subjects like drawing, crafts, S, music, dance, and don't forget to put an and before your last noun. Build, again, there. Who is there? Make it clear. Mental and physical strength. For instance, from drawing and craft, children learn creativity, whereas music, dance, and drama teaches them to express themselves, and sport activity builds a child's physical, with an AL, and leadership qualities, IES here. Okay, recreational activities bring learners close to social life and helps, no, it should be help because it's activities, help them to comprehend, with an E, their strengths and weaknesses. A recent survey done by World Health Organization has found that teenagers who often participate in extracurricular activities and frequently interact with their peers, S, always excel in their academics and social life. Okay. What I want here, let me tell you where people really struggle with this essay. And it's about what does entertaining mean? So think about what we mean by entertainment. We mean fun, we mean amusement, we mean maybe comedy, we mean laughter, light-hearted sort of activity that doesn't feel like learning, but it feels like fun. Okay? So this is what we mean in this context, at least. So here you talked about mental and physical strength, okay? But did you really talk about these activities as being entertaining? Okay, are they entertaining, and can you show us that they're entertaining? For example, sports, or even some of these other things you mentioned, like drawing, while they might be enjoyable, are they entertaining? Remember what we said the definition of entertaining is. So it's not enough to just talk about extracurricular activities in this essay, but you need to talk about activities that are entertaining, that entertain children, entertain students. And I can't really say that I was convinced here. Yeah, you talked about non-academic subjects, but non-academic subjects can still be taught in a purely educational way and in a way that does not provide entertainment. That's what I'm trying to really kind of explain. So just to include these is not enough. You have to show that they're entertaining. So let's move on. In conclusion, I support the people who encourage their children, we never use kids in IELTS, it's always children, to participate in non-educational activities apart from their curriculum, as it creates a platform to rise themselves. No, I don't know about this. Something doesn't rise something. To maybe improve themselves, to develop themselves as a confident social person. Okay, that would have been better. So again, what I said in this paragraph applies here too, this thing about non-educational activities. You're kind of getting off topic here and you're kind of missing the point. And so I want you to kind of get back to this point. Now, I'm really happy that we're having this discussion so early in your IELTS progress, because in my experience, in my many years of experience with IELTS, I find that this is the area that students struggle with the most, task achievement. So it's really a great thing that we're starting this way now, and you're becoming aware of some of the things that you need to consider when you're writing for IELTS. All right, so we've spent a ton of time on this essay. You have one more to go, so let's go to that now. This is the one about doing an enjoyable activity, better skills, creativity. Let's see. Mentality and behavior of a child is like a pot, and parents and teachers are potters that mold their life for their betterment. Okay, hence I totally agree with the argument of doing entertaining activities with the, what? I totally agree with the argument that doing entertaining activities with the new generation can not, I don't know about flourish better skills. It doesn't really create a terribly natural collocation here. Can help foster maybe better skills and creativity in them as compared to reading. All right, good. I'm glad you included reading. I'm glad you included your position. So good. Let's move on. Careful with your typing. There is no doubt that learning new things is exciting. However, the new ways used to teach those things are important. For example, comma here too, or maybe even just a full stop in a new sentence. For example, kindergartens in the UK, organized trips to zoos with an S and botanical, A here, gardens to educate preschoolers about flowers, plants, and animals. Therefore, tutors and parents have to be creative to develop the same skills in their offspring. One word here, offspring. Consequently, reading is also an essential part of the curriculum, as it teaches you about language, vocabulary, and also improves speaking skills. Although, again, no comma, forcing a child to read can develop a tedious behavior towards studies. That's not a full sentence, okay? That's a fragment, because remember, although needs two, essentially, it needs two sentences, which it joins together. So, you needed another part to the sentence. Meanwhile, if this reading being convert into stories, I don't understand this. This is incoherent. Along some colorful pictures can make this absorbing and helps in developing a child's imagination power. All right, now I am a little confused here in this paragraph. Basically, each paragraph needs to have a very clear central meaning where you can just, in one sentence, describe to somebody what this paragraph is about. I can't do that right now because I really didn't understand where you were going with this. I thought you included a lot of different ideas that didn't create one cohesive whole. So let's look at it. You talked about the trips in kindergartens, okay? And then you talked about tutors and parents have to develop these things. Then all of a sudden you talked about reading. And then you talked about how reading can become tedious. And then, so I was really confused here. I did not know what your main idea was here. Okay. Now, if you were trying to say that reading is important, but you have to make it a fun activity, then I would have been okay with that. But that was not clear if that was your idea. Actually, that would have been actually very nice. That it can be, there can be no doubt that reading is essential, but parents and schools alike need to find creative ways to make reading seem like a game. Okay? And then talk about how reading does develop skills and what those skills are and how those skills are important. Okay, so there were a bunch of ways you could have done this, but I really didn't find a cohesive whole in this paragraph, I'm afraid. Let's move on to the next. Furthermore, extracurricular activities like playing, dancing, crafting, and, sports, and many more connect, because look, it's activities, connect a child emotionally and build their self-confidence. All studies and research, get rid of the ES, done on children's mental development have proved, get rid of every time, that students who often participate in entertainment activities are more active, alert, and independent, and are great leaders as compared to active readers. For example, youngsters participating in a group dance competition develop, because it's youngsters, develop, I don't know what this word is, coordination, cooperation, and teamwork. Their confidence rises and reduces stage fright is the expression. Okay, so here you're talking to us about activities that develop skills. What are those skills? You said self-confidence, mental development, they're alert, they're more independent. So yeah, you did talk quite a bit about skills here. I guess that's okay. That's fine. So really the problem with this essay is in this paragraph here. So I was all right with that. In conclusion, reading can be made a daytime activity, but with the twist of fun hobbies, which helps in developing creative and mental ability of children. All right, I'm not 100% clear about this either, with the twist of fun hobbies, which helps. I don't know about that. So the good news is that I thought you were off to a really good start. Your paragraphing is good. I see that you are using the template, although I would like to see you also having that nice conclusive statement at the end of each paragraph, which links back to your topic sentence in each paragraph. So it's good. Like I said, you're off to a good start. Let's try to apply some of the changes that I've talked about here in this set of essays. Let's see you correct these essays. Okay, let's see you take all the information you're learning and apply it to your next set of essays. Also, I'd like you to begin an error correction list with the mistakes written down, and then next to the mistakes, what the suggested correction is as it appears in this video correction. All right, so go ahead and send us another set of essays. I'll be waiting for them, and good luck to you.